Hello and welcome to my awesome health journey. I am Brett Dupree, and this is my awesome health journey. As you know, there's just a light right there, and that is because, well, I forgot it was there because it was on the other side. I decided to put it over so I can have a little bit more light. Um, and yeah, I know it's a silly thing, but what are you gonna do? This. I'm gonna talk about my body because I'm working on that book, the Intuitive Eating Guide, with my nutritionist. Meeting her next week on Thursday. I need to start filling out, but I had an assignment this week of looking at my body this periodically and noticing my thoughts on my body and try to think of neutral thoughts. That's the exercise, is to have neutral thoughts on the body, because a lot of us, we live in a very body negative society. Body, yeah, I would say negative even, but there's a lot of pressure on to be thin, to be small. I've talked to people like, if you could be healthy or you could be skinny, what would you choose? And a lot of people choose skinny over healthy because that's just the way our society is just functioning. Because we put a lot, I mean, they call it fat phobia, which I think is unfortunate. We need a better uh, suffix than phobia when it comes to hatred, because it's not homophobia. They're not scared of homosexuals. It's hatred of people who are different, and we have this anti-fat bias in our society. And part of it, a lot of people don't go to the doctor because they know the doctor's going to tell them to lose weight, and not. You see that light thing that came down? That was weird. Uh, the people just tell them to lose weight, which they told me every time. Like last time I went to the doctor, he's like, "Yeah, we got your blood sugar down, your blood pressure's looking good. We got everything other than your vitamin D. All we have to do really now is focus on weight." It's like, I've been focusing on weight for 20 fucking years, right? I've been focusing on weight honestly, since I wrestled in high school. Generally, in junior high, I lost like 30 pounds just wrestling normally. I would wrestle unlimited and went from 220 to like 195, something like that. That was the smallest freaking. Oh, I got down to like 189. I was like the smallest unlimited person. Got second in AK though, or tournament, Auburn Kent tournament. Anyway, so we have this negative aspect. So it is harder to uh, exist in a bigger body. Nothing's really made for a bigger body. And plus, like dating, for instance, like early this summer, I thought like, yeah, I'm ready to date. And it turns out I'm not ready to date because I haven't done any actions. And I think one thing, when you can look at it, like, you can say anything you want. Words are meaningless and forgettable. But your actions determine on like what you actually believe and what you actually mean. And my actions did not show me somebody who's actually pursuing and asking people out on dates. And there was actually one person that could have hung out. I mean, I wasn't interested in dating them, but they weren't really interested in dating me either. But we concluded that we should hang out sometimes and kind of help us get ready to date, kind of thing. And I didn't actively pursue that either. Thought of that, just felt with anxiety, right? And as I'm dealing with that anxiety from this week still and processing through, but this is more about my body and the focus on my body. I noticed that I have both positive, like I really like like I think I told you, I really like my shoulders and up here and this front view, but man, I do not like this side view. And this is like, ugh. There's this piece of fat in the back that I can't wait to get rid of. When I see it, when I'm on the Strider at the Orange Theory, I can look to the side and see it. It's like, what the heck is that pooch? And I have this feeling like no one ever gonna want to date me on this as a side. And like, it used to upset me when my ex told me I wasn't fat, or said I had a little butt when my butt was gigantic. And just part of me couldn't believe she even wanted to be with me especially when I got up to 470s, got that big. But it's hard. It's really hard to get self-esteem in our society when you are this size, especially when it comes to like feeling attractive to the opposite sex. I think any big person can at least can feel that doubt that happens, and this feeling of like not being a sexual being or looked at as a sexual being or feeling that way because of size. And I do know men have it easier because it's more societally acceptable for a woman to date a big guy and to look past that. I mean, you see that on TV, right? The big Kevin James person with a freaking hot Leah Remedy. And you don't really see the opposite too much of like this big girl with this skinny guy. And, so I know women have it harder. I don't want to say like, I want to put that out there that women have way more pressure on them in this situation. At the same time, I feel it too. And just because my paint, it's not as big, it still sucks. And it still sucks that we have this fat phobia uh, out there. And honestly, I think it's counterproductive because the better I feel about myself, the easier it is for me to work out, the easier it is for me to eat healthy and to do the things for me to quote unquote become a smaller person. Like shame never worked. If shame worked, everyone would be thin, right? Because like there's nothing but shame in our society when it comes to bigger people. I a lot of times, especially when I was like 470, like I would not want to leave my house to do something outside, even with my friends, because I just know people just look at me and stare at me and think what a fat ass I am. And even now, I'm in like 430s, which is still gigantic. I mean, when I was 390, I had some fucker telling me that I was the fattest person he ever saw. It's just like, thank you, asshole. But, so, but the week process is what I'm getting to, really, is that I am mostly neutral, I noticed. So I've gotten pretty good at it on myself. There's part of my body I don't like, be nice to lose more of this, have my face to be smaller. Of course, I do want, the man titties, as I mentioned, to be smaller. Because I do like this. I do like the way my arms look, even though I do want that gone. I just want certain parts smaller. But I'm able to look at it and not hate myself for it. Or not, like, barrage me. Because I know that, number one, that will not work on getting me excited to work out, to be like, ooh, fuck fat, sweat is fat crying, or nothing feels better than nothing tastes better than how healthy feels, or whatever all that crap is. None of that worked for me. All of that did was make me feel bad. But the thing is just being able to look at my body neutral, so I'm able to look in the mirror and see things I like. And I always try to put a focus on looking at things I like about my body, especially I love my smile. I love my chest. I love my chest. I can look at this area of me a lot. I love it. And I do hope in a year or two things will be smaller and I can really look at my chest. But I'm also looking at the things I don't like about my body and be more neutral about it and think of it matter of factly. Like, yeah, I don't like that part of my body, but I'm working towards making it smaller. I'm working towards making healthy habits that will eventually make it smaller because I'm working out for health and I'm eating for nutrition. And eventually I'd like to still be smaller. I'm still celebrating fat loss because I just don't want to be this fat. And I'm fine with recognizing the fact that I can love myself for who I am right now, but still also want to improve myself and be smaller. And luckily I have amazing support with me, people at Orange Theory, my therapist, my psyche friend, my nutritionist, my friends, my family, and the people who watch this video, who random people comment on this, and I always appreciate it, to help support me through this. But yeah, so kind of like been thinking about my body for a week because the book told me to, and so I'll probably fill that out tonight. But that's what I'm just thinking, right? So I guess a long story short, I think for myself it's good to recognize the parts of myself when I look in the mirror that I like, and the parts that I want to improve, because I don't care. I don't know. I don't think I can ever get enough therapy to like my man boobs, or to like my big gut, or to like that weird pooch in my back. But I can feel neutral about them. I can feel like they exist. That's part of me right now. And as I continue to make choices that make me healthier, that make me in better shape, those most likely will be at least smaller. I just don't think with the choices I'm making and the medication I'm taking, my body is going to stay over 400 pounds for too much longer. Maybe at most 6 months, right? And then I'll probably continue, and then plan on reassessing at like 350 at least to see where I am and what I want and how much effort I need to put in. But at the same time, it's a lot of work to not hate yourself sometimes, especially in this society. And you know, people like going out, people are looking at me and judging me, and it is hard sometimes. It took a lot to go to Orange Theory, to be honest. That first visit was nerve-wracking for that reason. Just the constant judgment is hard. It's yeah, it's hard, especially when you have social anxiety where you believe everyone hates you, and that's being fat just adds another reason for that belief. But anyway, I rambled for like 11 minutes on my body and my body thoughts, and that's probably more than anyone wants to hear. But anyone who's here, again, I love you for who you are. Thank you for listening this long, and I hope you have an amazing day.